What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Chris, man. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Chris, man. Just here rocking with y'all again on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. Got a special guest in the building coming on today. My girl, Alanna Nolan. She is a sideline reporter for the Calgary Stampeders, which is a Canadian football team. They play for the Grey Cup. Their season will be starting in the next 11 days. Also, she is a TV host for the Calgary Flames. Their season just ended. So, without any further ado, we'll bring home my homegirl Alanna Nolan. We're gonna talk all things, favorite things. We're gonna talk about her childhood. We're gonna talk about her why. We're gonna talk about her also getting into horse riding as well, and we're gonna test her on some trivia. So, without any further ado, I bring her on. Here we go. Hey, how we doing?
Hello.
What's up? How you doing?
How
What's
are
going on with
you?
you? How we doing today?
What's going on?
Oh,
Good. We're 2 weeks into training camp, so I'm a little bit tired.
I understand. I understand. Nothing's going on over here. Just got a graduation coming up in about 5 days. That's
Congratulations. That's
all. Thank you.
incredible.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. It's going to be a very, very good time this weekend because I'm off this weekend. So, we definitely going to have some good food and good drinks. That's for sure. It's going to be a good time. But other than training camp, what's going on with you?
We just wrapped up the Calgary Stampede here, so that was good. Wasn't as busy as years past, but still a good crowd. And then, yeah, just getting ready for football season. It's going to be here before we know it. So.
And yes, we definitely are going to get into that because we know Calgary Stampede is a rodeo. The Calgary Stampeders are a Canadian football team that you could.
That's right.
We definitely gonna get into that. That's for sure. But it's good seeing you because I haven't talked to you in a while, so I'm glad I'm connecting with you for sure. Okay. I want to start off by asking you talk about your upbringing, your childhood, and how your love of sports came and the why, your why of why you wanted to choose to go into the sports media industry.
Sure. Well, I was really lucky. I was raised by my mom, a single mom, and she had an extended family. We have an extended family, and two of my aunt and my uncle were both in sports, in not necessarily media, but in my uncle was a cinematographer and my aunt was a producer.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into sports media, just through the production company and working alongside with them. And through that production company, I got to work with the Edmonton Oilers, the Edmonton football team. I got to do some rodeo. I got to do some track and field events. So it was really a great opportunity to sort of see a wide range and then sort of carve out a niche just by experiencing all of those different sports and figure out what I wanted to do.
No, that's awesome. I do remember us talking a while back. I do remember you starting very, very early, like in the game, because you had connections with the professional, through your family, with the professional team. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty amazing. Now you went to NAIT, which is NAIT, which stands for Northern Alberta Institute of Technology, where you graduated from, got a certificate from. Were there any other places outside of there that could have persuaded you to attend their school?
Yeah, I was looking at Ryerson, which is in Toronto. It's a pretty famous broadcast journalism. Anybody who is in TV goes to Ryerson. But I had already started my career in television, and I kind of knew where I wanted to go and the direction I wanted to take, which is not the direction I ended up taking. And I already had a job. So to me, I was like, well, do I really need to go and spend the money and move across the country and attend this, super fancy university? Or can I, continue working on my craft while going to school, while still having this job? So for me, it made more sense to stay. And then I ended up going to Toronto for my practicum, which I did at TSN, which is the Canadian equivalent of ESPN.
Yes, absolutely. Definitely familiar with TSN for sure. That's awesome. I want to ask you some of your favorite things. I'm going to throw some questions out, and you just let me know what they are. All right. Favorite food?
Oh, pasta.
Oh, that's how you say it. Pasta. Okay.
Pasta. That's how Canadians say it. Pasta.
I like that. Okay. Tomato, pasta. Either way, what's your favorite? What's your favorite pasta though? What's your favorite one?
Oh, like a carbonara.
Ooh.
Like just
yeah.
stick on your ribs. Like, yeah.
I'm a ziti guy. I like.
Yeah.
Ziti. I like. So yes, I'm totally with you on Italian. Love it. Favorite music genre that you like?
Country western.
Country western. All right. Okay. You know, I've gotten into this guy, two guys actually, I should say. Morgan Whalen, or is it Morgan Wallen?
Wallen, yep.
Okay, Wallen, I'm sorry. And then Luke Combs. I've
just
recently gotten to both of those. They're not bad. Not bad. Yeah.
Chris
good.
Stapleton. You would like Chris Stapleton.
Give him. I like his Tennessee Whiskey song, and the song he did with Justin Timberlake. Say Something. Love that song. But yes, Chris Stapleton. Yeah, he's pretty good too. So I like that. Okay, country western.
There you go. You're a country western fan too.
I am. I love all music. I really do. I mean, if you twisted my arm for a genre, it would probably be hip hop. But I love all music for sure, because you know you gotta appreciate the old to respect the new, and you gotta appreciate all different kinds of genres of music. So my Pandora is lit, that's for sure. We be here all damn day going through my Pandora, that's for sure. Favorite movie genre?
Oh, I like thrillers.
Okay.
Like Gone Girl, that was that's my jam.
That was a good one.
Right.
I like I don't know if it's much of a thriller, but if you remember the movie High Crimes with Ashley Judd and Morgan Freeman.
No, I don't think so.
That one I liked because it was about, I don't want to give the movie away, but maybe you'll see it one day. But it's about pretty much her husband was being tried as a murderer in the military, and she was a lawyer, but you know, military matter. So she wasn't a military lawyer. And Morgan Freeman was a retired lawyer that came in and was trying to help with the case, and ended up finding out some stuff that she couldn't believe. So yeah, I'll just leave it there. It was a good thriller. I like that. So when you say thrillers,
I'll look for it on
Netflix. You mean like suspense? Like, are we talking like thriller as in horror?
Like, no, not necessarily horror, but like that suspense thriller. One I recently watched was Unhinged with Russell Crowe.
Wow. Okay.
It'll make you think twice about honking your horn in traffic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I already do now. That's for sure. People are crazy on these streets. It's real. It's definitely real, no doubt. Favorite restaurant you like to eat at?
Like a chain restaurant or one in Calgary?
We can do both.
Our favorite place. So there's a little oyster bar just down the street from our place called Embarcadero. Mm-hmm. So we usually go there for glasses of champagne and some $1.25 oysters. So that's probably our favorite. In terms of a chain, I would say, do you guys have the Keg down there?
The Keg? Not in Atlanta, but I'm sure it's probably in the States.
Yeah, it's just a steakhouse that it's always the same every time. You know what you're gonna get.
Oh yes.
It's pretty easy.
I'm a sirloin, ribeye kind of guy, so I love steak. There's no question. Don't know if I can roll with you on the oyster. I know $1.25.
Oyster?
I don't know if I can roll with you on that one. I tried them. They definitely tasted like shit to me. But
put the hot sauce on.
Okay. Next time I gotta do that next time. I'm actually gonna be going out of town to New York to see my dad. And my dad and my stepmom, they love oysters. So we're probably gonna go out to a restaurant and we're gonna do. It's a whole week-long celebration. It's not just my graduation, but it's also my little brother graduated in May. So we're doing a joint graduation kind of party thing. So it's crazy. It's crazy out there. So I'll tell you when I come back. Okay, I'll message you.
Perfect.
If the hot sauce works, that's for sure. I got 3 more. Favorite alcoholic drink?
Oh, red wine.
Okay, I like that. I'm a red wine person too. That's awesome. Okay. Favorite color?
Color?
Color.
Turquoise.
Okay, I like that. I like that. I'm a red guy. That's for sure. As you can tell, I like red. So last one. Favorite place you ever visited?
Oh, Maui.
I'm definitely jealous now. Wow, because I want to visit Maui. I definitely want to visit like Hawaii, all of that.
Yeah.
Why did you go there?
My parents used to vacation there all the time, so I would just kind of join them for a week. They'd go for like a month, and I'd have sort of a little bit of a break in between hockey and football.
Yes.
So I go over there for a week and come back and get ready for another season. So it was a kind of a little mini refresher. But Maui for sure it's so relaxing. It's just it's perfect.
Okay, I like that. It's definitely on a bucket list for me for sure. No, that's pretty good. I love those answers. I did. So you graduate from Navy, then you go to, if I'm not mistaken to say this name right, Aquila Productions.
Aquila, yes.
Aquila Productions. Aquila Productions, and then you go to Cowboy TV, if I'm not mistaken. Can you talk about those first 2 job experiences and what you learned from there that you take to your job?
Sure. Well, this is the story that I told you when we first talked. So I was with Aquila Productions. I started when I was 14.
Yes.
Stayed there till my schooling and got there till I was about 23. So I spent about 10 years there.
Okay.
From the time I first started. And I was doing writing and producing and directing and production coordinating and all the things that I thought I wanted to do. But then I kind of got the on-air bug. And my uncle, being a cinematographer, kept saying to me, go be on air, go be on air. Like, camera loves you. You're so comfortable. Like, go, like pushing me to do that.
Agreed.
And my boss at Aquila said, you'll never be on air. And I don't now I know that I don't think he meant it in a hurtful way. Like, I think he meant it to keep me in the role that I was, because I was growing and I was having all these opportunities and it was great. Right. But to me, I saw that as a challenge. And I'm like, well, I'm going to go be on air somewhere. So ended up leaving there and then started my freelance career. So that's where Cowboy Country came into. That's where I got an opportunity to work for CBC, which is the national broadcaster in Canada. Yeah. And Cowboy Country, the reason they, found out my name is because I was still rodeoing at the time. So I was trick riding on the rodeo circuit and then would come back to Canada because we were trick riding in the States, come back to Canada, work on Cowboy Country TV and do it all over again. And we did that for about 4 years. So
naturally, somebody who tells someone that they can't or shouldn't do something will take it as a challenge. So that's definitely not a shock or a surprise. But yeah, I do remember you telling me that, which is awesome. It's awesome that you were there for almost 10 years. And what's awesome about it is the different things you got to do, what you learned to do. And yes, disagree. You're definitely wonderful on camera. There's no question about it. You come great in my Zoom camera right now. That's for sure. So it's awesome and amazing that you did those things and you worked with that production company as well. Which leads me into the next question. And the next question that I have is,
there you go. I got you now.
Got me. Okay. So which leads me into the next question, which is you talked about rodeo, trick rodeo. Now, how did you get into that? How did that start? And basically your love for horses, because you've always been a horse lover.
Yeah.
And a rodeo lover, as you told me before. I want to know how you got into the horse game like that.
Okay, so when I was 3 years old, I started riding. And it was because my grandfather used to take me to the racetrack every Saturday while my mom and my aunt and my grandma, they'd go shopping. He'd take me to go watch the horses. And just like, if you've ever been to a racetrack, like it's such a cool experience to see these horses just running around, and they're,
Right.
you know, magical and majestic. And you're just like, wow. So finally pressured my mom into putting me into riding lessons, which I started when I was 3. And I was English riding. So I was show jumping, you know, small saddle, helmet, everything else. Oh, wow. And as I went on, I think I quit the formal lessons around 14.
Okay.
And took a little bit of a break and just did some dancing and cheerleading and things like that. And then got back into horses, but I switched disciplines from English to Western. So Western being like the cowboy, the rodeo style, bigger saddle, ropes and things like that.
Okay.
And I was actually working on one of the rodeo series when I was still at Aquila, and we went to a rodeo in British Columbia, and there was a girl there, and she had this big fancy white saddle, and she was standing on top of her horse, and she was hanging upside down, and she was all these crazy things. And I'm like, well, I should be able to do that. So I found there were only 2 schools at the time in North America that were providing lessons. And one of them was in Alberta, where I'm from. The other was in Colorado. So I'm like, all right. So I took a week off and went down and learned on this girl's horses that she had and her saddles. And it's funny because the girl that I first saw do it, her and I became best friends. And then we ended up traveling the rodeo circuit together for like 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how the universe sort of conspires to work in your favor and put people in at the right time. But yeah, she was my inspiration, and then was at her wedding, and we traveled all over Canada and the United States together.
No, that's really amazing. That is a lot of great coincidences for sure. The fact that the school had only 2 schools, and one was in Colorado and one happened to be in your hometown, that's pretty cool. For you to be doing everything in the media world and then trick riding. Now, do you do anything at the Calgary Stampede as of right now, which is the rodeo place now? Do you do anything there now?
No, not now. So this year was actually my 20th Calgary Stampede. That's how long I've been going in this rodeo. But I've done everything at that rodeo. So I actually have my pyrotechnician's license, so I can legally blow things up. Which is what I tell people when they ask me about it. So I actually used to run some of the fireworks in the show at Calgary Stampede. That's what I first started doing.
That's awesome.
And then was doing television for CBC, like I mentioned. Outdoor Life Network was another one that we worked for. And then Shaw TV had a daily rodeo show that I worked for. So the last couple of years, I haven't had an official capacity. There was something in the works that I can't talk about because it might happen next year, which would be incredible. But it was actually nice to just kind of enjoy the rodeo and not have to be working the 14-hour days, because it does take its toll.
I can imagine. I definitely, if that does come to fruition, what you're talking about, I would love to hear about that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And that definitely reminds me never to piss you off since you are in pyro, because I don't deal with pyro too well. So when you can blow things up, any woman, I think we want to keep that woman happy for sure.
The best part is we were mixing fireworks, so you get like gunpowder on your hand and you get kerosene on your hand, and like everything stains you. And I had to get on a plane the day after Stampede was over, and my hands were just like under my nails were covered in gunpowder, and they do that swab on your hands to see if you have explosives, and I'm like, oh, I'm totally screwed. But they didn't, so it's just like, oh my god.
I mean, Alanna, you really are a jack of all trades. I mean, you're doing pyros, you're doing rodeos, you're doing media. I mean, we're not even halfway through the questions yet, and we learned the whole.
You got to get it all in. Got to get it all in.
I love it. That's awesome. The next question that I have is, with you doing all of that and working, and we also haven't talked to you about what you do as sideline reporting for the Stampeders, but you also are a TV host for the Flames as well. So how do you balance your work life, your social life, and also maintain good mental health? Because, obviously you do all those things for work, but you do have a life outside of work.
Yeah.
It's very
Somewhat, a little one.
yeah, you know what I mean? So you do have a life outside of work too. But so how do you maintain all of that by doing all of that and maintaining your mental health?
It's tough, like because like I said, the football and hockey schedule now crosses over. So
Yeah.
there's really not a lot of time to take off. I really take advantage of any bye weeks that we have in football. We have 3 this season, or 2 this season. Usually we have 3. We're in a shortened season this year, so going to take full advantage of that. I have a horse and he lives just south of the city that I live in, so I go and spend as much time as I can with him, because that's really just a good mental break. And they always tell you around horses, like, you can't carry whatever is bothering you, or if you've had a bad day or whatever, because they sense that, they can feel it when you're sitting on them, and or even when you're just around them. So for me, it's a good, just like, wipe the slate clean, be where my feet are, be with my horse, spend that quality time, and then you really do feel recharged, because you're not thinking about like, oh, I've got that Johnny Gaudreau interview in 2 days that I need to prepare for, or whatever the case is. So.
Right. No, that's pretty cool. The horse ride, as you do, to kind of get over everything. Listen, everybody has bad days. We all understand that. But it's really good to have a go-to where you can kind of just escape and let all that bad stuff come out, and then kind of recharge and go back to what you do. But yeah, that's pretty good for people to hear, because people deal with mental health all different kind of ways. Some people deal with it in a violent way. Some people deal with it a very calm way. And then some people just don't deal with it at all. Like you said, they keep it bottled inside. So I like how you deal with it. That's pretty cool. I'm going to ask you some this or that questions. Okay. So you just pick one or the other. All right. So here we go. Thanksgiving or Christmas?
Oh, Christmas.
Drive-ins or movie theaters?
Driving. I'm an 80s baby. Come on.
I understand. Are you sure? Because that sounds like a 51-49 kind of answer that you gave. Driving. Okay. Popeyes or KFC?
I've never had. No, I did have Popeyes once.
Oh my Lord, we was about to close this chat.
We just got it in Canada. You cannot blame me for this. This is the government's problem.
Okay, so which one would you pick, Popeyes or KFC?
I have to say KFC, and that's only because, and I don't think you guys have this because this is a Canadian dish. So KFC makes excellent poutine. Do you know what poutine is?
Oh, hell no.
It sounds bad, but it's actually really good. So it's French fries.
Okay.
With cheese curds.
Okay.
And then you pour piping hot gravy over top of it.
Okay.
So it makes this like French fry, gravy, cheese, melted soup, essentially.
It sounds almost like a mashed potato. That's what it sounds like, pretty much.
Pretty much, but with the cheese and it's a French dish. If you ever go, you're going to be in New York. You just journey a little bit farther north. You can go to Quebec and get some poutine.
I will be in upstate New York. So, Niagara Falls is not too far away. So we'll see about that. We'll see. Mm-hmm. That's funny. I like that. Okay. MJ or LeBron?
MJ.
Tom Brady or Joe Montana?
Oh, Peyton Manning. Peyton, he has my heart.
How you gonna add a C? It's an A or a B question.
It's Peyton. There's no other. The only person I care about is Peyton.
Okay. I'll let you have Peyton Manning, but for the sake of this question, you're gonna have to answer this. Tom Brady or Joe Montana?
Tom Brady, then.
Tom Brady.
Can't believe I said that.
But I am a Peyton guy. I'm Peyton too. Just mind you, I love me some Peyton Manning. I really do. Over Tom Brady anything.
Can I just tell you one quick thing about Mr. Brady and Mr. Manning?
So
my boss at the Stampeders, John Huffnagel, is our president and general manager. His birthday is coming up. So I've enlisted some people around our league that know and have the connections, because he coached both Tom Brady and Peyton Manning in the NFL. So I'm hoping that they give us some birthday messages for Mr. Hufnagel.
That would be awesome.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that would be very cool. And that would probably blow him away for sure. So when is his actual birthday?
September 13th.
Wow, so that's the day after week 1 of the NFL. NFL, so actually that's the conclusion because it'll be Monday Night Football for that day. So hopefully that happens.
Fingers crossed. Hopefully they remember their quarterbacks coach.
That's true. That's awesome. I got about 3 more for you. Bowling or softball?
Bowling.
You say that real reluctantly.
Well, here's why. I'm a sports reporter. I'm not a sports athlete. So literally anything that requires hand-eye coordination is not going to happen, which is why I ride horses, because they can see for me.
This is true. This is true. That's a great explanation, by the way. Wow. Okay. Well, the next sport I was going to ask you was football or basketball?
Football.
Football, right? Okay. Now I'm going to ask you Alberta or Toronto?
Or Toronto?
Yeah.
Oh, there's no question. We got mountains. We got wide open spaces.
I've never been there. Now. So
like concrete jungle.
That's on the bucket list. I promise you. If I'm ever in Alberta, I'm contacting you. You got to navigate me through.
Yeah.
You gotta do something. Okay.
We'll go to Banff. We'll go to Lake Louise.
Yes.
No problem.
Okay, got you. I love it. I want to talk to you about the Calgary Stampeders right now because their season is starting August 7th. And it's going, I believe that's the opening weekend. And they're going all the way to December, if I'm not mistaken, playing their Canadian football team for those who will watch this later on. And they play for the Grey Cup. That's what they do. Talk about their chances this year. Do you have any predictions?
Oh. It's interesting because, you create these relationships with different teams. We're only a 9-team league, so we can talk to everybody.
Yeah.
But everybody's got sort of the same apprehension of like, we haven't played in 21 months and we don't really know. Like we've had, I don't think you follow what's going on in the CFL, but we had one team in the span of 6 minutes at one practice.
Yes.
4 players blew out their Achilles heel.
4? Wow.
In a span of 6 minutes. We had a player on Saturday blow out his, and Winnipeg had a player on Saturday blow out his. So it seems like for whatever reason, whether it's just like that slow twitch muscle hasn't been used for almost 2 years, and now it's being asked to do that again. So with the injuries and this, just like, I think everybody's just trying to get back into the swing of things. So for us to say like, well, what are our chances? That being said, my boss, John Hufnagel, always says, if you have a quarterback, you have a chance. And we've got one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So I'm confident in that ability and in that player and the offensive side of the ball, but it's just it's so hard to gauge because we don't have any film to watch on last year. And it's kind of an all up in the air, which, I mean, it means it's up for anybody's grab. So
good to have a little parity. Good to have a little parity in the league. Yeah. I mean, it sucks what you just said about the injuries, but you are right. I mean, when you're out of pocket for almost a year and a half, almost 2 years, and now you're telling somebody to go full throttle from being stalemate, not being at all used, that's a little tough to do. So even if you are an incredible athlete, those things do happen. But ain't it great to have the Stampeders back?
It is. It really, really is.
I mean, August 7th is when it starts. I'm sure you're going to be on them sidelines doing your thing, and going to be doing a hell of a job for sure. But you also do Calgary Flames host, and we now know that NHL drops the regular season. It starts October 12th. and it goes for a very long time. I believe it bleeds into May, if I'm not mistaken.
If we make the playoffs, we'll
right.
go.
Right. Last year, Calgary just missed the playoffs. I believe out of 56 games, they just missed it. But also, we just had NHL draft. What do you think about some of the draftees that came on to the Calgary Flames?
Honestly, I think this was the best draft class that I've been a part of. I mean, I've only been with the team for the last 3 years, but the guys seem like really, they're going to fit in really, really well. The difference between the CFL draft and the NHL draft is the CFL draft, you see the guys right away. They come to training camp, they have a chance. There's a roster spot for them. In the NHL, a lot of the time they're going younger and younger. So these kids have an opportunity to go back to school for another year or go back to their junior team or whatever the case is. So you're not going to see them 2, 3, 4, 5 years in the lineup because they'll spend some time in the minors. So you'll see them at training camp, but for them to fight for a roster spot, just when you look at the sizes of the rosters themselves, you won't actually really get to see anything unless they're, a spectacular prospect and crack the lineup. But it's sort of a waiting game with hockey, where in football you get sort of an instant gratification.
Yeah, it definitely is more immediate for sure in football. I mean, Calgary, they got some good players. It'll be hard to crack that team immediately out the box. I was watching the NHL draft the other night a little bit, especially the expansion draft for the Seattle Kraken.
Yeah.
The league. Watch that a little bit. I know. I was just about to say that. How do you feel about losing him to the Seattle Kraken? Yeah, you knew you were going to lose somebody.
I know.
How do you feel about losing him?
Gio is a very special human. Like, I can't even begin to tell you how much he does in the city of Calgary. But one example, so when we were all shut down for COVID, when it first hit and everybody was sent home and everybody's laid off and nobody really knows what's going on, he sent out an assistant or a friend of his, went to random grocery stores and would stop families and say, Gio's paying for your groceries today.
Wow.
And like, that was not a media stunt. That was not a publicity stunt. He didn't even want people to know about it because he wasn't the one doing it. But that's what this community meant to him. And this community is going to miss him and his family doing all of those, initiatives that he doesn't have to do. He can, come and play hockey and leave in the off season and then come back again. But he really did give back to this community in a big way, and Seattle's going to be better for it. So
yeah, that team up there, they needed a team. There's no question about it. Seattle's such a great place, but like you said, it's such a tough loss to be able to leave Seattle to pick them. But they're getting a good player, a good kind of player, and Calgary will continue to move on. That's for sure. What I want to do now is I want to do some trivia because I want to test your trivia. Now, how good are you on Calgary sports trivia?
Okay.
I don't like that laugh.
I've been working for 3 weeks straight. Can my brain handle this?
I don't know. Like, listen, we don't have a lot of questions. Not a lot of questions, but we do have, like I said, some questions. I think you'll be able to handle it. If you know my girl, Tori Peterson, who's the social media manager of the Calgary Flames, she did trivia, and she got so upset that she missed the one question. She got
I know Tori all too well.
Yeah. And,
we have a large time.
I did the trivia with her. She was awesome.
Okay.
She was great.
So I got to beat Tori.
Dude, and listen, Tori had about 6 questions, okay? She answered about, I would say 4 of them correct.
Okay.
Now, that's about 67%. You have lesser questions. You only have 2. But her questions was all about the Flames, pretty much. Your question is going to be about the Stampeders and the Flames combined.
Okay.
Okay. So here we go. Here's the first question. How many times have the Stampeders won the Grey Cup?
8.
Correct. All right. See, we starting off pretty good. We thought
I got 2 rings in my bedroom, so I know there's for sure 2.
Okay. Here's the next question. What was the team's name before being named the Calgary Flames?
The Atlanta Flames.
Correct. Yes, it was.
I see a theme here.
All right. We're pretty good. It's 2 for 2. I like it. I like it. Here's the third question. What year did the Calgary Flames make it to the Stanley Cup Finals? What year?
Make it or win it?
No. What years did they make it?
1989.
Okay. That's one.
That's one of them.
That's one. Yep. That's one. Yeah.
I don't have that ring for.
Well, that's okay. That's all right. I will say this. You got 2 more. I'll give you that. You got 2 more.
Oh, 2 more years.
Yeah.
2000 and.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on, because I was with the Oilers at this time. So we went in, I'm going to say 04 because there was a lockout in 05, right? Yep.
04.
Okay.
Yeah, that's 1 more year.
And oh God, I don't even know. To the final?
To the finals.
Pass. I fail as a Calgarian.
It's okay. 1986 was all.
Yeah, I was gonna say because then yeah.
Yes, you had 89. That was the year they won.
Yep.
04 was the year that they made it, but they lost.
In Game 7.
86 was the other year. So that's okay.
I was 3.
That's all right. That was a tricky question. I threw that out there for you. You still was a boss with it, okay? That's cool. Here's the last.
That's right.
The last question is, who was the last pick the Flames made in this year's draft?
Oh. I've been intrigued. Oh. It's not the Russian goalie, is it?
Oh, I can't tell you. I don't know. What's the Russian goalie's name?
Okay.
I can't tell you. What's the Russian goalie's name?
5 seconds on Google.
Yeah, hold on.
I'm gonna pass.
You can't cheat. You can't cheat. You cannot cheat. Oh, you cheat. Oh my gosh.
Team score is Tori.
Oh my God. you get marked off for that. That's okay. That's all right. You did your thing and you got the first 2. You confidently said the Stampeders. I like that. And you confidently said the second question. I got you on the years of the Calgary Flames and the Calgary Flames question. So you obviously know your Stampeders pretty well. That's for sure.
We're in Stamps mode. We're focused.
Okay, I love that. That was a quick trivia to see, couple questions for the Stamps, couple questions for the Flames. You did well for the Stamps. I'm gonna have to tell Tori to brush you up on some of the Flames talk.
Yeah.
But
she won't be surprised.
Yes, I figured that. So, what are some stories that you would like to do as a reporter, journalist that you haven't done yet, and why?
I would like to work at the Calgary Stampede as the first female announcer.
Now we talking about color, or are we talking about play-by-play?
So no, this would be an in-arena, like addressing the crowd.
So like a game host.
Yeah.
In-arena, okay.
Yeah.
In-game.
Oh. Yeah. I think that would be on the bucket list for sure.
Okay.
What else? I mean, I feel like I'm kind of winding down and sort of transitioning back maybe into producing. So I think, the Olympics are on. That'd be fun to do an Olympics at some point.
I hope that's not the case. Obviously, I love you in front of the camera. I don't mind you at all in front of the
Oh,
camera
Chris.
doing your thing. You do your thing all the time. You do such a great job. You work so hard. I know you probably like, okay, I'm tired of working this damn hard. I think I want to slow down my schedule a little bit. That
No,
totally
it's
makes
not. It's the Botox. It's just, it's costing too much. I just can't. I need a sponsor.
I can't take your ass seriously. I could not. Get out of here. Oh,
I tell you.
Well, whatever it is, it's lovely. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So maybe I need to get some damn Botox myself. That's for sure. I don't know. You know, it's lovely. That's all I was.
I think you look great.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I'm going to look even better this Saturday because I'm going to get a little bit more groomed. I'm going to have a dress shirt on, tie, Acquedizio. If you're familiar with the cologne, Acquedizio, that's Giorgio Armani. That's the only cologne I buy because that's the flyers of the flyers. And you know,
okay.
So, yes. So I'm definitely going to look even better on Saturday for sure. And originally, I didn't even want to walk, to be honest with you. I didn't want to walk and get my degree. But, you know, my aunt and my mother was like, you gonna walk. We've been waiting for this day. And me being the true mama's boy that I am, I said, okay, yes, I got you. So I had to get a cap and a gown. I was just happy getting my degree though and just moving on. But we're gonna be walking.
And look how hard you worked. You have to celebrate it, right?
Oh, and yes, the celebration is gonna be all weekend long. It's gonna start Friday. Even before the graduation, it's gonna end probably Monday morning. For sure. So, you got to be on lookout for the
true championship form. That's how we do it.
That's how we do it. Absolutely. So I want to ask you this next question, which is this is basically about advice. And it's advice to anybody that wants to break in this league and have the longevity that you've had, because you've dealt with some trials and some tribulations through your career, I'm sure. So what advice would you advocate to someone or someone has given you that you hold on dearly to about breaking into this industry and staying in this
industry? So it was funny because we were having this conversation today. I have an intern just started job shadowing me for the next couple of weeks. And so she was asking me exactly the same thing. She's like, how did you make this work? And I said, the best advice I ever got was from the former head of TSN, who is ESPN in Canada. And he said, Alanna, you just got to be a pit bull and you got to go after what you want. And you need to not take no for an answer and be respectful, but show that you have the tenacity and the wherewithal and the perseverance to go after what you want. And that was how I got, one of my jobs with CBC. I just kept email. I want to do this. I want to do this for you. I want to do this for you. And they were like, okay, fine. And then we're like, actually, she does a good job. So once you get your foot in the door, you can really, but it's hard. Like it's hard to break in. And especially in Canada, we don't have as many opportunities as the States. And then, the same with how I got my Stampeders job. I sent them an email when I first moved to Calgary and said, hey, like I've done this for other teams. Are you interested? And they were like, no, thank you. I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, I'll try again next year. And same thing happened. It ended up being a tweet. They sent out a tweet asking, what would you like to see at our home games this year? And me with my sassy pants on said, how about a little black-haired girl on the sidelines asking questions? And got a meeting and got hired. So it's just about like that one, being in the right place at the right time, and also just sort of shooting your shot. You got to.
I be persistent. Pretty much what I'm getting, and put your sassy pants on. For me, that'd be some big ass pants for sure. I'll be some pants for sure. But no, that's great. That's really, to be honest with you, that's really, really good advice because a lot of people are very timid. A lot of people, and I don't want to say timid. I want to kind of say not just timid, but I want to kind of say just reluctant to step up to the plate because rejection is hard to accept, and it's also demoralizing. It's every time you hear no's, you know what I mean? Because you're wondering when are you going to hear that yes, and then when you are persistent, you got in the back of your mind, because I'm naturally assertive myself, as you probably know, because I was assertive trying to get you. And I'm assertive trying to get everybody. But I'm naturally just assertive myself. But there's some people who be like, well, damn, it might be a little bit too much. Like I'm bothering this person, or I might be a little too strong, but come off a certain way. And you just have to have the attitude of I just don't get. I really want this, and I really just don't give a damn how it seems, because at the end of the day, you can, like you said, be professional and still try to get your point across of wanting to be in this industry for sure.
Oh, there you are. I got you.
Did you lose me?
You're frozen. Sorry.
I was in my mode. I was going, and I'm like,
you guys who are timid, and I heard most of it. I
can't even remember what the hell I said. But it was good. Basically I was saying that you're right, and you should just go after what you want, and hopefully you'll be able to get it. Now you said an intern. Is the intern for the Stampeders or for the Flames or what?
Well, we're kind of all under the same umbrella. So it's so unfortunate. I feel so bad for this girl. We did her interview 2 days before the NHL shut down everything in March of 2020. So she was supposed to be our intern. She was going to follow us through the playoffs. She was going to be next to me because that's what she wants to do. And this poor girl, it's been almost like a year and more.
Yeah.
Just trying to get her practical, like trying to get her internship done. And I'm like, okay. What do you want to know? Because you're going to do a crash course in 2 weeks. We're going to fill all of your hours. I think she said she's got 100 hours left to stock up for. I'm like, all right, well, you're going to be doing stand-ups. You're going to be doing reports. I'm going to have you writing. You're going to do all this. So just trying to make the most of it for her. Because what a year to have an internship.
It's rough. Luckily with the degree I had, I didn't need an internship, but it was always good to have a couple in the background. I know currently I'm covering a college baseball summer league team.
Right.
And after I get done with you, I'm going to be heading out there covering a game for my last project to turn in as an undergrad. So I know that league has been very difficult because of the rain. There's been a lot of games that I haven't been able to cover, but I've been looking at different stories to do. I've done some interesting ones. I was in a barn for one story.
Wow.
Yeah, I was in a barn. And I've never been to a barn in my life. I was like, wow, this is a lot of pasture. This is a lot of grass. Where I grew up, we had dirt. We didn't even have grass. We had much grass unless you went to a field or something like that. But it was a beautiful home. And then I did another story where I had to go to 2 hours away from where I lived and did another story. So did stories like that. Is there any games as far as what you do as far as with the Stampede? Is all the games in Canada?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All the games are in Canada. Okay.
Yeah. The Flames, I'm hoping this year we're going to be able to travel with the team.
Yeah.
So in the past, it was between myself and then my counterpart at Flames, Brendan Parker. We would split the road trips.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to do that again this year now that we have a little bit of normalcy back. But
that was going to be one of my questions, because if you are back on the road with the Flames, I know I personally would love to be a stand-in. I would love to see what you do as a host, because it's quite different from what you do as a reporter, as a writer on TV. You're talking, you're passing the baton to the analysts and the other people that's with you on the set. I would love to see that, because that would be amazing. Obviously, seeing you on YouTube is great, but seeing somebody live and in person, how they prepare, is totally, totally awesome. So that was actually going to be my next question. If you do and are able to go on the road, I would love to be a stand-in. And
meet me in Dallas.
Oh, well, Dallas, Nashville,
Carolina. Where else would be close to you?
Well, definitely Carolina, the Carolina Hurricanes. Definitely Nashville. The Predators. You go there once. Dallas.
One of my favorite cities.
Las Vegas, without question. Got stories for days for those too, but that's a whole nother damn podcast. It truly is.
Well, let me talk. You know what we'll do? Let me talk to Tori. We'll find a road trip, and her and I will pick one to do together, and then we'll get out to a game. How would that be?
That would be amazing. And the first beverage is on me, and if the seats are good, the second beverage is on me. That'd be awesome. That'd be great. But yeah, that was my actual follow-up question. But what I wanted to do is tell you a couple things prior to me getting off here and letting you go and enjoy the rest of your Monday. Number one, I am, like I said, graduating in 5 days, July 31st. And I'm going to be looking around. I just actually, I spoke to a David Clapp, if you are familiar with him. He's over the social media people, and he reached out to me. And Tori actually gave me his name. Yeah. And I know Tori and I know Caitlin from the Edmonton Oilers. Do you know Caitlin?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know Caitlin.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I told him I knew them both. And I know Tori more because I talked to Tori more than Kate, but I know both of them. And he was like, yeah, that's great. And he started telling me about certain jobs that may be available. So I will be, he had like a Zoom interview with me for like 30 minutes. And I was actually at the time, I was on vacation with my friends in Vegas. But I was like, and
you're like, I would like to go to the pool, but this is such a good opportunity.
Right.
Welcome to sports. Welcome.
Right. So, because he hit me back in the email, and he was like, "These are the 3 days that I have that I want to sit down and talk to you." And I was like, "Oh, well, I work overnight this day, and then I'm really probably going to be drunk this day. I don't think so." But then Thursday, I'm gonna set some time aside. I'm not going to go anywhere, and I'll talk to him. And he talked to me for about 30 minutes and talking about the digital content and the social media content and which teams. I told him my favorite team is the Blackhawks. He said no kidding. My team is the Blackhawks too. I was like, oh wow. Well,
bonding.
Yeah, right. So,
this is all positive.
It is. So I bring him up because I'm definitely going to be looking into the jobs that he talked about, but I'm also going to be looking at different sporting jobs as well. And I'm not opposed to coming to Canada at all. I do have a passport now, which is great. So if you hear of anything, not just in Alberta, but in any other place in Canada, please don't hesitate to shoot it my way, because I will definitely take a look at it, and we'll roll from
there. 100%. I'm happy to help any way I can.
I appreciate that. And I always end my podcast like this. Is there anything else you would like to add before we conclude?
I guess my last piece of advice is if you value your weekends and your holidays, sports is not for you, because we do not know. All I know is that today is day 17, and I'm like, is it Monday? It could be. So the life of sports, you don't really know what day it is. You go by the schedule of the team rather than the weekly schedule. So.
I like that. Day 17. Is it Monday? It may be.
It could be Friday. Not really sure. It doesn't matter, because I do the same thing every day.
That's true. That's very true. That's really some great advice, though, because a lot of people do not understand that sports are nights and weekends. You do get breaking news, and depending on your position, you do work very long hours, and it looks glamorous. Like I said, people see you on TV, Alanna, and they like, wow, she got it made. It's great. She does great content. But they really do not know how hard you work. And I've said that before to you, so it's just me being consistent with it. But that's really, really some good advice for people that watching any podcast show that I've done, especially this one. This one is amazing, and Alanna, you're amazing, and I just want to say thank you once again.
Thank you, Chris. It's been great to catch up again.
It has on my Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. But that's what we do here. We work hard, but we play just as hard. So please be in touch, as I know you will. We'll definitely stay in touch. And enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you again.
Thank you, Chris.
You take care.
Thank you.